Welcome back to the In the Making podcast, season 2. After a long run of a whole 8 episodes.
And then a short hiatus.
And then a 2-month break. We have returned to bring you more content. We lost our way. We said we would be consistent and do it at least once a week. We actually were ahead of that goal. We're recording twice a week at certain points.
I think there was a period of maybe 1 week that we did that.
We had some of the most awesome guests I never would have imagined would have agreed to be on our show.
And it was a great run, and now it's over.
And then we just stopped.
Yeah.
But now we're back, which is great.
Got in the way. It wasn't totally our fault, although it was entirely our fault.
Everything is a choice, Patrick. And so here we are with episode 9. We've decided to do it with...
Hold us on that. Is it episode 9? I'm pretty sure we did 8, but I'm not 100% sure.
It's the episode after the last episode that we did. And so
episode after the last episode.
we decided not to do a guest because I think initially we said we would do a podcast with just us. And then we decided to bring on guests because we didn't think we were interesting enough.
And then once we started getting guests, and then we didn't have enough guests lined up, we just decided it wasn't worth doing the podcast.
No, I think it was more. I mean, maybe, but I think it was more just that we got busy and.
I think it was a combination.
And then we lost our
if we would have
original
had consistent guests still coming out, even though we would have been busy, we would have made time for it. But we didn't have them, and then we got really busy, and we were like, "Well, do we want to solo one? Oh no, not this week. Let's wait. We'll get a guest next week." And then it just didn't happen, and then we just kind of fell through.
Yeah. So here we are at 9:00 on a Monday, recording, and
Why is that relevant? It sounds. I'm not.
Why isn't it? Why is this a point of contention?
I'm not saying it's not relevant. I'm just curious.
You realize you're creating more work for. I was going to say for yourself to edit, but I realize now we've hired that out.
We don't have to cut any of this out.
You're not doing any of that now.
I don't think we have to cut any of this out.
Lazy.
Yeah.
So this is actually the first episode that we've made where we don't have a list of topics or.
Yeah, let's just.
We're just freeballing right here.
Let's just talk for an hour. The thing is that at the beginning we wanted to have a list of topics because we talked so much that we always knew everything that was going on in each other's lives. But I feel like now we don't actually spend as much time.
I haven't seen you in a month.
Now that we're working so intensely on almost different parts of the business, almost it's like. I don't know. We definitely see each other, and we definitely talk all the time.
We see each other every day, but we don't see each other ever.
I don't ever see you in a not work context now.
So this could be our one-on-one therapy.
Yeah, this is a therapy session.
So Patrick, how was your week? Do you have anything to tell me?
It's good. It's been good, Daniel.
Okay.
I have this asshole guy, this asshole friend that I have. I'm new to Toronto, so I really only have 2 friends. One's a guy, one's a girl, and it's the guy.
Yeah. So I guess where did we leave off last? We were finishing the preseason. Starting.
We weren't even.
We were getting the business.
We talked about just the business. I think I had just moved here.
We were getting all the business off the ground.
We were not even. I think
we started sales,
canvassing. Yeah.
So now we have a sales team. We have 40 people lined up to work with us.
Yeah.
Expenses are high now. They're very high.
Yeah.
We're spending a lot of money on things. We haven't made any money yet. We've been pouring.
Has always been just throw money at the problems, and it's as you grow to this point, the problems just get bigger, and so the money you need to spend to solve them just gets bigger too.
Well, we're very fortunate that we have low overhead, but at the same time, it's we it's it used to be buy a ladder and spend $500 and we're good to go, and now it's we need 40 ladders.
Crews. Yeah, exactly. So it's each crew gets 3 ladders. Now we're gonna be getting 10 to 12 crews. It's
$10,000 of ladders.
Yeah,
it's a lot of ladders. So how are you acclimating? How do you feel now, having finished a preseason and moved here from Toronto? And where's your head at?
I mean, it's good. I was definitely the right decision. I feel like we can both agree that for both of our mental health, it was the right decision. I mean, you tired?
Very.
Yeah, no, I think it was definitely the right decision. It's a good thing. I think I've acclimated pretty well at this point. I have my feet under me. Now it's just adapting to the workload and the added responsibility of operating at this high of a level versus what I was doing in Montreal. It's just like it's basically like a totally different game. It's not even the same day to day or anything like that. So it's quite a bit of adjustment still to go. But in terms of like the move to Toronto, I think it's good. I'm happy, very happy with that. I made the choice to move.
We've been going at it a lot lately in terms of like getting things to run smoothly. How do you feel? I mean, obviously I know how you feel now, but how do you feel now relative to, like, where was your head at last year versus where was your head at now in terms of how you're managing the business?
Like, you mean like this time last year, what was I thinking versus now?
Yeah.
Okay.
Not necessarily about Toronto, but just about
about
your abilities and yeah, exactly.
So, I mean, last year at this time, I feel like I definitely felt very. There was no doubt in my mind. I felt very capable. And like what I was doing, I could do no problem.
Like you felt like a rock star.
Felt like a rock star. No, I definitely felt like I was gonna do it. I was at that point, like moving steadily towards my goal, and I felt like nothing was gonna stop me, and I knew everything. I knew what I was doing at that level, and I guess compared to this year, the difference is that now I feel like I have no idea what I'm doing anymore. It reminds me a lot more of the first year that I did this because I had no idea what I was doing, but it's also like that multiplied by, what is it, 30?
Oh.
It's multiplied by 30. Yeah, it's that multiplied by 30.
Yeah.
So it's like, yeah, I mean, it's a lot. It's just that the mistakes, any mistakes you make now obviously have, you checking my math there?
What did you do, 225?
No, year one. That's what I said, times 30.
Oh.
So 100,000 times 30.
Yeah. By 30. There you go. Good.
Yeah.
Good work.
Good math. Mental math right there. You see that?
Yeah. Concordia math.
The what? The what
Concordia math.
Concordia. That's the extent of my mathematical abilities. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. The problems, everything, like, mistakes at this level are just so much more amplified because you can't just
everyone.
You can't just fix them. Well, one, I can't just put my head down and work and fix it myself.
Yeah.
And two, there's 3 other people, 2 of which have been 2 of my closest friends for a long time, and a third of which is actually very quickly becoming another one of my closest friends, who are relying on all of. You are becoming slowly. You're working your way in there. No, Destin. But like, yeah, like everybody's kind of got their little areas, and like if I screw up on mine, then like everybody kind of suffers, and I feel that. I feel the whole weight of that, of the fact that that's my responsibility. Not to mention like the 40 guys we have relying on us for work.
Well, one of the like now that I told you I'm reading about OKRs. So
I didn't know you were reading about them. I thought Kendra was just telling you to make them.
No. It's the other way around.
Okay.
So I found a book called Measure What Matters, I think. And it's by one of the guys who was like basically the biggest, I think he was the biggest investor in Google before Google popped off. Yeah, John Doerr, Measure What Matters. Yeah. Okay. So he put like $12.5 million into Google, and now the guy's worth like $12 billion.
Makes sense.
And so he basically came up with this framework that, I don't know if he came up with it or if it was just a framework, but basically this is what like Google uses and Bono uses for his fundraising, and it's just a way to measure goals and to track them. So the reason I brought this up was in the past, I would just
have a point.
I would just be like, I have a goal. I would tell everyone my goal on the team, and then we would just go and hit the goal. It was just like work harder, do this, do that, hit the goal. And because we were only like 10 people, it was very easy. It was just me and Kendra running it. It was very easy to delegate and to see who was doing what wrong. But now that I have almost no part in the day-to-day activities of the business, and I'm managing it, basically from the house, and then you've got, you and Dustin managing all of sales and all of production, and then Cam, who's also running sales, and then you've got all the, like, I don't even know the names of some of the people that are working for us now because we're just hiring so quickly. And so it's very difficult to kind of have vision and then delegate it and then see that vision come to life. There's a lot of breakdowns in communication throughout that. So basically I was feeling, getting very frustrated because, we would have a meeting, I would set goals, I would say what I needed done from you guys. And then a week later, we would be nowhere near what we were trying to achieve. And I would be like, it feels like I have this vision and for what needs to be done, and you guys have a different vision for what needs to get done, and you're just doing what you think is best. And then at the end of the day, we're nowhere closer to where we had to go. So the way that this book is describing it is it's basically a way to track and measure company-wide goal setting for massive companies so that, one person can set an objective or the company can set an objective and then determine the 4 or 5 things you need to do to hit that objective. And then that can kind of cascade down a pyramid.
Knows what they need to be doing.
So that not just knows what they need to be, everyone is in line, and your objectives stem from my objectives. And so I feel like that, even though I haven't even like implemented it yet, because I'm still reading about it, I feel like that alone has given me like a better idea as to how I need to communicate to you guys what I want to do and how I can better help you formulate your plan to make that happen so that we're always kind of synchronized. And I'm finding that very important now because I don't want to like grow so fast that the company just explodes and then we're
yeah, and then you can't do anything. I agree. Yeah, I mean, it must be, for you, it must be just absolutely insane seeing like this, what you've created, this kingdom.
I was actually talking to someone today about that, and when you're running a small business, you're like, it's easy. I mean, this happened to you, right? Like your head blows up. You're like, oh, look at me. I'm a big entrepreneur. And like, I made over $100,000 this year. And and I didn't need business school. And then, once you pass that and like you're running a 7-figure business, you kind of look around and you're like, yeah, I'm not doing shit. Like, this is really small potatoes. Like, there's people at like Jeff Bezos made what like I make in a year in like 30 seconds. Because you start to realize like what's possible, and every time you shatter your goal, you're like,
go use the example you've been dying to use.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
What is the minute mile or whatever?
I honestly didn't even think about that. I did not even think about that.
I'm very surprised because that's the example you used.
Okay, well, now you can share with the audience.
Know it. I don't actually know it. But I've heard you say it at least 30 to 40 times.
It was like the first guy that no one had ever run a 1 minute mile or a 4 minute mile.
It's definitely not a 1 minute mile.
I think it's a 4 minute mile, and then
it's 4 minute mile. Yeah.
And then the year the guy broke the world record for it, like 10 other people had done it. Because they heard that he did it.
Year after he did it. Yeah.
But this isn't really the same.
It was possible.
That's like...
But it is, because it's like, you have this like ceiling of like, how amazing you think you are, what you think like, oh my god, like this is so big. And then like, once you crack through that 7 figures, it like opens up this whole world in front of you where it's just like, oh, wait a minute. Like, this is actually nothing.
Well, yeah, and that happens.
All possible.
That happens year over year, but like every time you think you're doing, like you realize this pattern where you're like you're doing more than you ever thought was possible, and then you still have none of the answers, and like you know a lot, but you know nothing about what you want to be doing. Like you still struggle with tons of problems of like, I don't know the answers and I need to figure it all out. And then you figure out all the answers and you're like, oh, I'm so great. I'm just really smart. I figured it all out. And then you come to all these new problems that happen when you grow your business and you achieve, you know, this new level of enlightenment. And you're like, I thought I figured this out. I thought I was good to go, but that's okay. I'm going to do it this time. And then you figure it out again, and then more problems. And eventually you're just like, okay, like I'm literally just never going to have all the answers. And there's this consistent theme of like, well, yeah, it's 100% the point. And that's what's a lot of fun. That's why I love it.
Because that's what I was going to say. Because like, imagine you had all the answers. How boring would life be then?
Yeah, it would be terrible.
The whole point is that, and that's the kind of the thing that I say is when people ask like, oh, well, why do you do what you do? Oh, why do you work like 10 hours a day, 7 days a week? Like, I don't understand why anybody would subject themselves to that. Yeah. It's like
you work like 13 hours a day.
Yeah, I understand. Whatever. I'm being honest. No, but it's like when somebody asks you that and you're like, I don't know. It's such a hard thing to explain, don't you find? Because it's like really hard to explain why you subject yourself to that.
Oh, I don't find it hard.
I don't understand.
I find it. It's
somebody
like
asked me the other day, and I was like, it's hard to explain, but you know it when you like, you know, like I know why. Like I have no doubt in my mind that this is what I want to be doing, but I don't know why. Like, yes, it's fun, but it's not always fun. And
I breathe it. I would die if I didn't do this. I would rather be dead, basically. There was nothing else I would like. I mean, look, like everybody thinks that like traveling the world is like, oh, I can't wait to take a break and make all this money. And it's like you go and travel the world for 4 months, and after 3 months, you're like, okay, another volcano. Like you kind of get bored of it, you know. Yeah. It's not. It just gets anything in excess that you don't love, I guess, gets.
Well, no,
I don't know. I guess
that's my point though. Is that the reason that I come up with that I love it is just because like there's no limit to it. Like no matter how high you go, no matter how much you do this, like the day to day will never 2 days will never be the same, and like every time you solve a problem, a newer, bigger, harder problem to solve pops up in front of you, and it's almost like computer generated to the point where like you can reliably expect that harder problems will continue to arise in front of you as long as you're doing this. It'll never stop. And I guess that's kind of it, right? Like that's the game.
If someone was trying to understand it, I guess like an easy way to draw a comparable would be like if you look at any like all-star athlete or high performance like, you know, trainer, it's like, you know, you look at LeBron or whoever, it's not about just winning another championship. It's about like on a daily basis getting better at your craft and honing that in. And like I can remember like when I was a kid, I was going into Walmart with my mom, and I heard somewhere that like they put the candy at eye level for kids at the cash so that, you know, kids will tell their parents to buy stuff. And I was like, well, this is like the most genius concept I've ever heard of. Like, oh my God, like that's just so intelligent. I want to learn more about the mechanics of how things work.
And the whole thing, like they put all the stuff you need on like the outsides, and they put everything in the aisles in between.
Yeah. So like to me, this is
draw you to the back of the store. Yeah.
Like I couldn't imagine being. I understand that, like why they say that people that win the lottery become miserable after, because they don't know, they have no idea what to do with it.
I find the struggle is what makes it like worth it. You need to struggle against adversity for what you have to have any value to you. You know what I'm saying?
And it's also like if you have money and you don't know how to manage it, you end up just losing it, and then
that too. But I mean that's a whole other thing. Like at least. I mean, yeah, I guess that's part of it too. You have money, you don't know how to manage it, and you just squander all of it, and then you end up depressed.
Like life gets like it's harder to manage Like when you have a lot of money, the more money you have, the more problems come with it.
Yeah, of course.
Like when you're living with your parents, or you like, you know, you have like a full-time job and you're going to school, and like you're just making enough money to like save 20% and then pay your rent and like your lifestyle. Everything's easy. Like you don't have anything to worry about.
Literally, you have to trade your time for money, and you get that money,
and then you have your time, and then you can do whatever you want. Yeah,
certain percentage of things with it, and then you take the rest of your time and do whatever you want.
Yeah, but once you start, like, I mean, you know, you do the bigger things you do, the more bullshit you deal with. Like, oh, now you have enough money to want to build a house, so you build a house. But now you have a contractor that you've paid $20,000 to, and he's trying to rip you off, and you're like, oh my god, am I going to get ripped off for 20 grand? And then you have this big business, and then someone tries to say something bad about you or sue you, and it's like, now you have all this stress of having this money, where it's like, having the money is great, but like having like the feeling of having someone like take something from you, or having all this stuff for people to take and trying to hold on to it
for people to take, that's the issue.
I think that's like underappreciated, and it sounds pompous, but like it's very true. And so anyway, yeah, back to your question of like, how do you do it every day? I think it's like, I just, you know, like some people love listening to music and reading books, and like I love learning about business. I like reading about business. I like practicing business. It's like a religion. I just fucking live it. It's just how I am. And I think that's, you know, I think that very few people are lucky enough to find something that they want to do for the rest of their life, that they're meant to do. And I think that even fewer people are fortunate enough to like be born knowing what they want to do. And I feel like I fall into that last category, where I'm like, it's just inherent.
Born for this.
Yeah, I mean, also having like ADD definitely helped, because like I know so many people that go to university and they're like studying shit that they hate, and then they go, you know, and they go into accounting because their parents or life tells them that it's a good career choice if you don't have anything else. And so they do it for lack of a better job, and then they go and they're an accountant for 3 years, and they wake up and they're like, oh my god, I hate my life. I did not enjoy this. Yeah. And like, I don't have the attention span to do anything I don't like. So,
well, that was it. Yeah.
I was forced. Like, I forced myself. I couldn't pay attention in any class that I didn't enjoy. So it wasn't I wouldn't, even if I wanted to be an accountant, I couldn't have been, because I was so uninterested. So I just, you know, by process of elimination, I ended up in the only thing that I really did enjoy.
Yeah.
Or that I didn't hate.
Accounting is rough.
Accounting is rough.
You making fun of me?
Rough.
Jesus Christ. Yeah, I think we're both fairly beat right now. We've been working pretty nonstop. You were on your first job site of the season today.
Yes. It was good. The boys are back. We've got some kick-ass guys from last year. I feel like I was talking to Amber about this yesterday, where I used to have this issue where we would be selling, production would start, and then because I was doing everything, I would be juggling like sales and production.
Sales would be amazing, and production would start, and you'd have to jump on production, and production would start to go, and then sales would start to fall, and you'd have to like jump back and forth.
And if you don't, I mean, you know, if I go to an estimate, I'm focused on the estimate, and I could close the deal, and that's it. But then during production, it's dangerous, because if I'm not 100% focused on training the team for those 3 days that I'm with that team, they're going to get to 80%, and then they're not perfect.
Habits, and those habits are going to become ingrained, and then we're going to send other people for them to train, and then those people are going to get bad habits. You're going to pass on your knowledge to the team. They're only going to retain like 5% of what you pass on to them. Then that 5%, they're only going to pass on, you know, 5% of that to the people they're training. So those guys are going to have it even more diluted.
Basically, in the past, it was fine. I mean, it was doable. But now, at the scale we're at, it's like everything needs to be perfect. Because after this year, if things aren't like ironclad, every year it's just going to get harder and harder to fix.
The more it grows, the harder it's going to be.
And like, I think the biggest thing for me is like, because this is the first year I have you and Dustin, I have someone else like managing the business. I have this like deep fear that like it's not going to work out. Not that it like entirely won't work out, but like that the business will like grow down the road in 3, 4, 5 years into something that I don't like. And I don't want to look back and resent myself for like not making things happen the way they should have happened. So now that I have you guys, like, I feel like I have a lot more time to think and to be clear about what needs to happen, because I'm not always like go. And so it's very nice. It's a great feeling to be able to like look at a team and sit there for like 3 hours or 6 hours, whatever I want, and just like
whatever need.
Yeah, and I can just coach them and make sure that I have the time to like train them and go through things. And really, like today we were realizing like nothing's ever going to be perfect. Like every single job has like something that someone doesn't like about it. Mm-hmm. But if we can minimize that number of things, we'll get 1 centimeter closer every day to becoming what we want to be, which is ultimately like the best the highest quality trade doing what we're doing.
Yeah. Would you say highest quality and probably like the biggest?
Well, I think biggest will just come over time
on the measure,
but for me, it's like I know that we can become the biggest just through sales. So like,
yeah,
it's not really a goal for like, although we have sales goals, like being the biggest is almost like a byproduct of what I really want to do, which is like I want to become the best and
the highest quality.
And even though I know that we're like probably better than 99% of companies out there, it's like we are our own benchmark. And it's like seeing, like, to me, it's like having a crew go through a job, or rather having a client hire us, go from the moment they hire us to the moment they pay us, and have only good things to say about not just the work, which is a huge part of it, but like the experience about what it was like working with us. They were happy with the way we communicated. They were happy with scheduling. They were happy with every aspect of it. And really that, I would say it's like, it's almost 60-40. Like you could have the best job ever, but if the client isn't happy with the experience working with you, it just goes out the window. It's like clients would often rather like a great experience and like an 85% job than if they had to choose, right?
The goal is that they don't have to choose.
Right. The goal is not. And there's always stuff. But yeah, for me, it would be like, I just want to make it like the greatest experience.
Yeah.
And so, yeah. So it's just about getting closer to that.
That's a good goal. I mean, I think we're well on our way. The fear is always that, like, yeah, I mean, I don't know. I always have fear that, like, is it enough? Like, are we going to be able to sustain it over the long term just based on the experience, or are people going to be like, why am I paying this much for this?
I don't think so, because we have a huge amount of our clients that come back every year, right? So the proof is just like in the data,
in the pudding.
Yeah,
the proof is in the pudding.
Like, if half the jobs we do can are only meant to be done once, and then half our clients come back every year.
That's an amazing return rate, 50%.
Yeah,
half the jobs we do are only done once. That's still amazing.
A lot of folks are unforgiving. Like, a lot of people are like, I didn't like the way the worker did that. So I'm just not going to say anything to you, and I'm never going to use you again. And I'm not even going to tell you why.
People talk with their wallets, so.
Yeah. So, but it's a numbers game, and if no one was coming back, it would be another story. But
yeah, I agree.
I think
if we were just starting from zero every year, then I think, yeah, you're right. It is a very good litmus test for that, or a very good test is the amount of people that are coming back. And you're right. Like this year, signed back clients, like we have tons. Do we have an idea what the percentage of the clients from last year?
I didn't. We'll run
we've done the numbers yet.
We haven't done the numbers because often, like over the next month, a lot more clients come back.
That's it, yeah.
And we still a bunch of them we sent out all our texts and our phone calls. We still have to do the email send out. We still haven't sent out the flyers.
Okay.
So, and then a lot of the clients that didn't sign back or clients from the fall, so they will sign back in the fall. So it's almost like a mid-year check and then an end of season check to see what the numbers were.
We'll only have the official actual answer at the end of the season.
I mean, look, I'm happy with the numbers so far. I feel like the people that really were good clients, like the ones that we connected with, the ones that really liked us, the big jobs, the ones where it was like there was a lot on the line. It was 3 times the size of the normal job size. Those we really put in the work, and most of the time those come back.
Okay.
Which is huge, right? Because if you're getting, lots of jobs that are,
right?
thousands of dollars a year in recurring revenue, it's big. But the biggest thing that I think of is that one of our biggest competitors, is known throughout the city, and they've been around forever, and they don't
for like 30
years.
30 years. Okay, I was gonna say 2025.
Everybody knows who they. Most people know who they are.
Most people know. Can we just say the name or no? Should we?
Whatever. It doesn't matter.
Most people know White Shark. In Toronto, most people have heard of White Shark.
And the owner's an awesome guy. Like, honestly, I don't think I respected the business model as much before I spoke to him because of just what people had told me.
But now you spoke to him, and now you get it. You're like, oh, okay, it all makes sense.
I mean, he's a good dude.
It's a different game. It's a different game.
Yeah, it's a different game, and and I think when you're operating at that level, and I know he's been doing it for years, so it's like he hired managers, and then he took them off, and then he took over. But the biggest thing that I wanted to convey was that he everybody knows him or his business, and they're not doing crazy numbers. They're doing what we hope to do this year.
But they have, did he mention how many clients they have? Because their job size is obviously a lot smaller than ours, so they're going to do.
No, but he told me. But he,
they probably have triple the amount of clients.
Yeah, probably. But that's just again, that kind of makes me think oh, what are we going to be doing in 10 years? Yeah. If it took them 30 years to get there. But he also chose not to scale after. He decided he didn't want to grow more.
He just kind of goes even.
Well, I think at this point, it's very rare that extremely wealthy people have most of their wealth coming from one business. Usually they build a business, you get wealthy,
funnel that money into another business,
and then you have other things that are giving you your long-term. There's a point where you're your business can only grow so big, and then your investments compound and compound and compound, and then eventually you're making just as much, if not more, every year from investments than you are from your business, and that's the goal, right?
That's kind of the goal.
I remember in year one in StudentWorks when I killed myself to make 30 grand. I worked my ass off for a whole year just to clear 30 before tax, and now it's
but at that time that was a crazy amount of money.
Now it's if I didn't work for a year, the investments would make me more than 30 grand. So it's
It's crazy to think about.
Yeah, it is. It's wild. And now it's like 30 grand is nothing. Like it's
30
like
grand is I
it's
mean,
like my
not to be douchey, but 30 grand is like if I make 30 grand in a summer, I'd be like, this is. Yeah.
You couldn't even pay your rent.
That's it. Yeah, that's
right?
it. I couldn't even pay rent. Yeah.
So it's like, it's like, what do you do?
That's it. More money, more problems. Though.
Yeah.
I mean, geez, like back then, 30 grand was amazing. Now, like you said, you need more than that just to pay rent.
You glowed up.
I wouldn't even have food.
You glowed up.
Yeah, I'm literally gonna be glowing up. We haven't talked about that. I'm moving again.
Where are you moving to, Patrick?
I'm moving 2 floors up.
Wow, 2 floors up.
Yeah.
You're gonna bang the broomstick on the ceiling.
Very excited. Yeah,
keep it down.
Instead of banging it up on the roof, I'll be banging on the floor. Yeah, I'm very, very excited. It's July 1st. Moving to the top floor. Moving up in the world.
I'm excited for Cam to start editing and putting out content because I feel like that's the shout out Cam. Cam is has been running some sales for us and is on the verge of. He has just edited his first clip for Instagram.
He didn't edit it. He just posted it. Michael does all the edits.
Shout out to Michael.
Shout out Michael McIntyre does all the edits.
I've never met him, but yeah, so basically we wanted to just get more edits done and put them out on Instagram because
we want to try to build a following.
Yeah, we want to build a following.
So share this if you're listening. Cam says he thinks he can get us to 1,000 followers within a month. That's his goal.
Good for Cam.
That's what the little guy does.
Either we will praise
short,
Cam.
He's small, but he's feisty.
Or we will.
I think a lot of it falls on us too.
Second guess his.
If his goal is to do that in a month and we stop recording for another 2 weeks after this, then
no, that
then
can't
I don't
happen.
think it'll happen.
No, we're back at it now. This is happening. We can't lead on the viewers and the listeners. Can't record an episode and leave.
Loyal listeners.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I agree. What else is going on in our lives? Is there anything other than the business going on in your life? I know there's absolutely nothing other than business going on in my life.
I'm dying to travel like everybody else, obviously.
Are you really?
I just want to go. Like I feel like COVID, everybody complains about it. And I feel like most people should complain about it, but it's almost like not impacted me. Like I haven't.
Yeah.
I work more than usual now.
I don't think it's that it hasn't impacted you. It's just that a lot of people them up and it's inconvenienced you at most. Yeah, it's like, oh god damn it, I have to order online to go pick up my stuff at Home Depot now instead of just showing up at the store last minute.
But you know what? It's like before I worked all the time and I would go out for dinner once a week. And now it's like I work all the time.
I order Uber Eats every night.
And that one time I would go out to dinner, I would just order Uber Eats and I would still work. So it's like I'm just not getting that break to just go do something. And so in the last, so I just haven't traveled and it's silly. It's like, if we didn't have the business, I would probably just go to Thailand or something and go to Israel or the States or figure out a way to get the vaccine and then just travel. And then,
but like you said, you'd have fun for a month, maybe 2, and then you'd be like, oh.
I just want 2 weeks. I want 2 weeks on a beach surfing, and then I can go back to work. Maybe even a week. Go to Costa Rica, come back. That's it. I just want sun.
Go for 2 weeks. You go maybe just a week. Wow, I only really need a week. Then I'll get back to work. Take 2 weeks, man. It's all good.
10 days is. I found 10 days is the key. I used to go on 2-week vacations with my family, and the last 3 days.
The last 4 days, you're like, God damn it! It should have ended at 10.
Yeah, 100%. You're just sticking. You're like, I'm here. I might as well enjoy it. But
oh my god,
you don't actually want to be there.
Wow. Okay.
What else? We're landscaping. We're almost done our backyard.
The house, yeah.
And then we're doing the front yard now, digging it up. And then I'm sure Kendra will find another way to buy another house next year and ruin all our lives again.
Sure she's gonna find a way.
Go through another renovation. I've heard the two leading causes for divorce are infidelity and renovations.
Is it really?
Yeah. One of my clients, I mean, I could be wrong, but one of our clients is...
Somebody look it up and post something somewhere, or text one of us and tell us if Dan's right or wrong, because I've heard you say that stat many times, and I'm curious if you're actually right. Are you Googling it?
Leading cause for divorce.
It's definitely not going to be either of the things.
A few common reasons.
Infidelity.
Unsurprisingly, money is one of the top reasons, followed by infidelity. Yeah. Fighting over money would be their top reason for divorce. That's but what do you mean you fight about money? What does that look like?
I'm actually curious, because like I can imagine some of the fights, but like what do they mean by that? What does fighting about money look like?
I don't know. Yeah. Basically, anyway, so one of our clients is a doctor. He has an extremely nice house, like one of the few houses that I would say I could move into without renovating, and I would like it. And
where's his house? What area?
He's in High Park. He's like over the ravine.
Oh yeah, like in the like
yeah,
nice
like
bigger property.
Yeah, on Ellis. On Ellis.
Oh
yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Great dude, and basically I walked in and I was like, "You just moved here?" He's like, "Yeah." I'm like, "Did you renovate this?
This is year one or
like
year
this
two,
is great taste. This is last year."
Okay.
And he goes, "F that." And I'm like, "What do you mean f that?" He's like, "Why do you say it like that?" He goes, "Two leading causes for divorce: infidelity and renovations, and I am not exposing myself to either of them."
Wow.
And so I laugh. I mean, it's true. Like, honestly, if Kendra and I weren't on the same page, and if I didn't, like, Kendra's extremely intelligent, and often, like, pretty much everything she does, like, makes sense, you know? But there are a lot of people out there who do not make sound decisions around money, or like even like people who don't know how to deal with conflict with contractors, and who don't, like, Kendra's a hawk, you know, like she was figuring stuff out about the mechanics of the plumbing and electricity and all of the things behind the walls, and she was problem solving ahead of time. And if she wasn't as capable as she was, I could see myself coming home and just being like, "What the fuck? You're just burning our money away, and I'm working so hard to make money, and you're just throwing it all away." But like, anytime there'd be an issue, she'd be like, "You know, we have to spend this money." Like, I would just be like, "You're doing 10 times a better job than I would. So whatever you think needs to be done, needs to be done." But I mean, we're in home services, so we talk to people all the time who go through this, and like, we even have clients who, like, you know, we try to deal with both people, but we'll deal with like one spouse, and then the other one will be like, "Oh my God, why did that person why did they pick this color? Why did they?" And it's just like, you can just see they just basically like threw away $2,000 hiring us to do, you know, to paint a color they didn't like. And so I just couldn't imagine dealing with that on like a level of tens, hundreds of thousands of dollars, and then feeling that your partner is directly causing this. So yeah, I can, and then you know, that's just about the money. Then there's like, I like this backsplash. No, I like this one.
But then it's just whatever Kendra wants.
Yeah. No.
Easy solution.
We're usually like,
you guys,
because when you're
good taste,
when you're on the same page with someone else too, and like you respect each other, I feel like it's very easy, because it's not like she'll want something and then I won't like it and then she'll want to do it anyway. It'll be like, "What do you think about this?" And then if I really don't like it, she won't like it then, because she knows it will not make me happy. And if she really likes it, she might push for it, and then I'll either come around or I won't. But there's not a lot of like neither of us will ever like force the other person to do something we want, because half of the joy in doing it is knowing that like the other person likes it as much as you like it.
Yeah.
So yeah. It's like you're not going to take someone out to dinner to a restaurant that like only you like, and you know they hate the food there.
They really don't like. Yeah.
You're like, come on, let's go. Even though you hate the food, like I really want to go there.
Yeah. Yeah, you guys are really in sync, though. I mean, I've seen you pick out things together, like blinds and stuff like that, and like every time it's always like, okay, like which one of these three do you like the most? And you'll pick one, and you're like, that's the one I wanted to.
Yeah. Well, we'll play that game. Like we'll go into the tile store and we'll be like, okay, don't say anything to each other. 15 minutes. We reconvene here in 15, and then we show each other what we like. And then we see if we overlap. And often she'll be like, oh, but I found this one. Did you see it? And I'll be like, no, I didn't see that. And then the other two will be like, oh, I know, I saw that one too. Did you see the price? Oh.
See if it goes on sale. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's fun. I feel like, what was it? I don't know if you know who Mike Amiri is.
I don't.
He's
a comedian? Or?
No, he's a designer, clothing designer. He's been blowing up recently with he's in like every rap song. He makes like $1,000 jeans. It's ridiculous.
What?
Yeah, it's crazy. Denim.
Let me see.
All kinds of stuff.
Show me his Instagram or something. Show me these $1,000 jeans. I'm interested in seeing them.
They're pretty dope. They're like.
Are they raw?
They're like. No, they're not raw. Nobody wears raw denim anymore.
I know.
It's a dying thing. It's all like leather and very like rocker. So like he'll make these boots.
Oh, well, they're pretty nice.
Yeah, I think they're dope.
Yeah, those are pretty nice.
Like those are probably like $1,200 or something. Wouldn't surprise me.
Where are these jeans at, bro? Where are these $1,000 jeans at? But like it's like they're all one-offs, or there's like a collection of like.
Oh, it's a collection, but it's like high quality.
Buy, like as many pairs of these $1,000 jeans as you want, or it's like no, like they're all.
They are limited though. Like they will sell out. But it's not just. But it's high quality, and it's hand stitched, and this and that, and premium, and like you really like. If ever you go into a store and you see it, like you'll be like, "This is like." You can close your eyes and just touch it, and you're like, "This is made
like
quite
Stone
well."
Island.
It's better than Stone Island.
Well, obviously, it's way more expensive, but I'm saying it's very similar in the sense that like you can touch something from Stone Island and you're like, oh, this. Yeah,
but some of the stuff, some of the Stone Island stuff is like not necessarily. Like some of it is like it's cool materials, but like it didn't cost them much to make. It's just like their design and their brand.
Yeah.
But like. Certain things you are like shirts, this is premium. Yeah,
you touch and you're like, whoa.
He wrote a thing today. He posted something that was like, never be ashamed of starting from the bottom, because it'll make you the views from the top so much sweeter. But yeah, that's it. It's like the slaving through it every day. Just when you do win, you're kind of like.
What's the old saying that I know is the work hard in silence, so that your success. Let your success make the noise. Is there anything else you want to touch on before we sign off?
Books. Yeah, recommended books. Let's recommend a book. I like to share my reads.
Well, you have a ton of reading list. I'm currently working my way. I'm on. This is called Setting the Table.
But Setting the Table. What do you think about it?
I haven't actually started it yet. I just have it downloaded now.
Wow. Okay. Well, you can only recommend a book that you've read.
That's why I'm not recommending it. I'm just saying it's off of your reading list. You have a massive list. I don't. I'm just reading off of your list.
I just finished Matthew McConaughey's Green Lights.
And?
I liked it. It was great. A lot of gems. It's a book of gems. The whole book is just like anytime he would like do something or experience something in his life that made him like go, that worked. Like, remember what I did here because it paid off. He'd be like, green light. And so the book is just like all the green lights that he would get throughout his life.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, I definitely really want to pick that one up. Yeah, I mean, I can't really give you one. I can give you one that I want to read in the future that I haven't touched, which is Sapiens. I'm very interested in reading that. You told me that it kind of bored you and you're not really into it and you lost interest, didn't finish it.
I mean, it's like anything, whether it's like your work or your hobbies. Like, if you don't like it, you're just not going to put the time in. Yeah. And so I'd like try to force myself to get through this book, and it would take 2 months to get through the book, and I wouldn't read it. And I was just like,
well, that's it.
Fuck this, return the book, download another book.
You can return them?
On Audible? Yeah, you can return them if you don't like them. That's why it's so great. You listen to the first 20 minutes, you don't like it, you return it.
How long do you have to return them?
A year.
What?
You could listen to the whole thing.
You get your credit back?
Yep. Why do you think I love it? I mean, that's not why. I like it because I can read in the car.
So you just basically got like 30 books and then canceled your membership, and now you just keep returning them and getting new ones?
No. I only return books that I don't like. If I don't finish them. If I get halfway, I don't like it. Like, my thing is, I'm guessing that Amazon has some sort of partnership with like the authors where they're paying them on a per book basis.
I don't think it's per book.
And if someone returns the book, I doubt Amazon pays them for it. I doubt Amazon probably doesn't pay the author for it. So my philosophy is like, if I got value from the book, then I want the author to get paid for it. If I didn't get value from the book, then I don't think I should pay for it. So Audible is great. And I love
Can't Hurt Me I'll definitely recommend. That's the best book I've read in a very long time. I mean, that's it. Wrap up. Thank you so much for listening.
If you are still with us, season 2.
Season 2. It's not officially season 2. It's just a joke that Dan keeps making because of our long hiatus.
Life is what you make it. And we
are making it season 2.
And this is season 2. So if you've listened to this, then that means you've stuck around since the first few episodes. And we are very grateful. One of the things I wanted to mention is that I know that there are people that listen to this because it'll come up in conversations. But nobody actually messages us to let us know what they like or didn't like, or if they are a fan or if they're not. So it'd be really awesome to get, like, if you do listen to this, to just like message us on Instagram, say hello.
Oh, you message in the making on Instagram, that's messaging camp. But you could also message us individually.
Yeah, or message us individually. And if for no other reason, then it validates us to know that we are not just speaking into the air, but we are actually...
I'm happy just speaking into
someone
the air.
Actually is getting value. Even one person gets value from this. It'll be worth it. It'll be worth us setting up all this equipment and spending this. So right now we're actually paying to have the podcast edited, and we're not making any money on it. So 100% coming out of our pockets. So whatever you can do for free would be great.
We're definitely not making any money off this. Yeah.
No. We're actually, we're losing a great deal of money.
Yeah. We're losing a good amount.
So we hope we could provide you value. That was episode 8 or 9 or it's episode 1, season 2. Okay. So thank you for listening, and we'll see you next week.
Peace
out.
Hey everybody, this is Patrick, just checking in quickly after the episode to say thank you so much for listening or watching. We really appreciate it. We've got some super cool interviews lined up in the near future. We're very excited about them, and we think they're going to bring a lot of value to a lot of people. So make sure that you subscribe on your platform of choice. We are officially available on all major podcasting platforms and on YouTube. So make sure you subscribe there and stay tuned for more. We'll see you next time.